Welcome everyone to the Emilia-Romagna sprint race. It's the first sprint race in the Formula One 2022 season and the fourth race weekend. It's 21 degrees here in Imola, but it's overcast. It is dry though. So let's have a look at the track. It's a 4.9 kilometer circuit here around Imola with just one DRS zone just along the pit straight. You have 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. So let's hand it over to Jack Marshall for the grid.
We had a great qualifying yesterday going into the sprint race with Max Verstappen pole position, great drive from him, with George Russell P2 equally great drive, only 0.2 behind, which is great in this year's Mercedes. In P3 we have Charles Leclerc with Hamilton, George Russell's teammate, in P4. Charles Leclerc is doing well this season. Carlos Sainz in P5 and Perez P6, from best of the rest Norris in P7, Alonso P8 with his teammate Ocon behind him. Ricciardo P10 rounding out the top 10 with Gasly P11, Mick Schumacher P12 and Bottas P13 with Magnussen P14. Rookie Kevin King in 15 with Tsunoda in 16 and Vettel 17, Albon 18 with Zhou Guanyu and Stroll rounding off the grid. Back to you, Sam.
Yeah, I believe the formation lap for the sprint is just about to start, so let's head down to the grid. As we're seeing just the single red light, just because it's the formation lap, and the green light goes out as we see Max Verstappen peel away from everyone, and Russell. Amazing qualifying from Russell today out in Imola.
It's amazing qualifying. Mercedes has shown such form in Imola. It's been really different to what they've shown in other qualifyings.
Yeah, they really have taken a step up over the last couple of races here. Bahrain, Bahrain, Jeddah, and Australia. Just barely getting on the podium, and I believe this is their first front row start of the season. That's got to be uplifting for them.
Yeah, it's got to be uplifting for them. I mean, this season's not gone great for them at the start, but it seems they're definitely working towards it, getting in those upgrades and getting into a spot where they can definitely challenge people.
And here's Kevin King lining up on the start, and here's the rest of the grid lining up for the start of the race.
Yeah, here we are in Imola. Here we see the 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go here at Imola sprint race. Max Verstappen getting a good start, but so does George Russell. On his inside going into the first. Outside going his first turn. Max Verstappen finds Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc trying to go the outside of Max Verstappen. Does he make the move stick? With Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz scrapping behind them, Max Verstappen keeps Leclerc behind them, which allows George Russell to stay ahead. It's a great start by George Russell. Amazing start by George Russell. Jumping Max Verstappen, jumping the world champion, defending world champion into turn 1 there, and turn 2 as well. And I think Ferrari will also be looking for a good race this weekend. It's their home race, one of 2 this year. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Remind me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time George Russell has actually led this season. Mercedes has been quite far behind, especially with their quality performances.
Yes, I believe this is actually the first time George Russell has ever led a Grand Prix. So that's got to be good news for George Russell. Got to be very uplifting for him as well. Give him a lot of confidence in the car and his ability to keep that Red Bull behind him.
It certainly does, and I mean, gotta point out, great performance by Carlos Sainz jumping Lewis Hamilton at the start, and then kind of Lewis Hamilton having a little. And that's Alonso.
Alonso tumbling down the order. What has happened to Fernando Alonso? He's pretty much dead last, only just ahead of Alex Albon, and that's actually Max Verstappen getting ahead of George Russell.
That is Max Verstappen taking the lead of the race, and Charles Leclerc following it up, trying to get on the inside of George Russell. Does he make the move stick? We're going into the next corner. And Charles Leclerc doesn't manage to get the traction. We've got Fernando Alonso under investigation. But we've got a battle between the 2 Ferraris, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Who will stay ahead? Carlos Sainz get ahead just, but we're going into the next corner.
Charles Leclerc on the outside, actually staying ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz.
It seems like Carlos Sainz just backed away. Maybe he's a bit nervous about fighting his teammate in this early stage. We remember last race in Aussie, the 2 Ferraris started battling, and that kind of ruined Carlos Sainz's race.
And I believe here we're seeing Fernando Alonso, his start. Actually, pretty good start. Yes, good start. Jumping Lando Norris, and it's heading up to turn 1 and turn 2. I believe it was contact between Alonso and Perez. Yeah, there it is
Yeah,
there. His front end plate completely gone on that left side there. That's
not good for Fernando at all. And we transition back to Max Verstappen in the lead after starting P1. George Russell in second, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, and then Sergio Perez in sixth.
And Daniel Ricciardo jumping from P10 or up to P8. He's right behind his teammate. That's good for Ricciardo as well.
Alpine has not started this race well. Alonso started well, but I feel like just losing that end plate has struck him down, and maybe he took Esteban Ocon, his teammate, down a bit with him, letting Daniel Ricciardo take that P8 place.
Because, I don't know what happened. Either he went to pit or he just went tumbling down the order. But, he's, in one reason or another, Ricciardo's got past Ocon.
Yeah, that is definitely true. We're following Charles Leclerc now, following George Russell. They're all in DRS range, so once that becomes active, they will definitely be fighting. But we're over halfway through this race. Here we see, is this Alex Albon?
Oh yeah, I believe Alex Albon broke his front wing. It might have been up against his teammate, Kevin King, or up against someone else, or I guess we're going to see. Just missing those couple of apexes there. Kevin King having got a bit of a tank slapper, trying to go down the inside. Ooh. Albon just gets it all crossed up, goes right into the back of Nick Schumacher there.
Yeah, I mean, that is not great for Alex Albon at all. And here we see George Russell following Max Verstappen. There's only 2 laps left in this race, in this sprint race, and George Russell will be eager to take that first place. Even though it is a sprint race, it's still pretty of an achievement.
Yeah, still, technically a win, because you do get, a little kind of fun little medal for it.
Trying to get that 8 points. You get in sprint races, 8 points P1 going down to P8.
Yeah,
you get 1 point.
And while he's third in the championship, against Sergio Perez, who's gone tumbling down the order, we'll only get 3 points for this race. Any points on his rivals will be good for him. Just trying to get as far up in the championship as he can.
Yeah, and we see him right behind Max Verstappen. You just can't get close enough to kind of make a move. I wonder if it's the fact that this track only has 1 DRS straight, so he has to really save up his energy and get that ERS so he can really push for that DRS zone.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just trying to burst it all out while he's on the DRS straight to take advantage of that straight as much as he can. And we'll see George Russell opening up the DRS, and he'll be tucked in behind Max Verstappen, trying to get that slipstream to try and catch up to him. And we'll see him gaining. He's gained 2 or 3 tenths just along that straight alone. Max Verstappen through the corners is just pulling right back ahead of him.
The Red Bull of Max Verstappen has just been steaming ahead. We've seen it in the results with his first place in Saudi. It's just they can't catch him. I mean, George Russell, even with the DRS, just the final lap, he could not get him.
Max Verstappen just absolutely has run away with this sprint race. Just incredible driving from him.
Just incredible. Now, if you're just tuning into this final lap of the sprint race, got Max Verstappen P1, George Russell P2, and Charles Leclerc P3, all different cars in the lead, which shows the kind of compactness in the top field, and also the midfield and the separation between them.
Normally up until last year, you'd have seen, all the cars pretty close to each other. But, you've got Bottas and Zhou and Tsunoda and Gasly and Ocon, I would say Ocon and Alonso, but Alonso had a bit of bad luck. And as we see Max Verstappen coming around the final corner to take the win in the sprint, George Russell coming so close, but yet so far.
That's it, right?
That's it. Well done. Pole position for tomorrow.
That will be great for the race tomorrow. And I mean, Red Bull will be loving that, even though his teammate Sergio Perez wasn't able to get up from 6th from where he qualified.
I'm sure, George Russell will be very happy with that. Maybe not quite getting the win, but I'm sure staying where he was.
So Max Verstappen getting 8 championship points from the race. George Russell second, getting 7. Then Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Perez, Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, Gasly. It's great for McLaren qualifying into the actual race proper.
And Perez just letting that lead on the championship slip just a little bit. Max Verstappen catching him just 3 points behind, and George Russell just 11 points behind Verstappen now.
Yeah, this is definitely closed up. I mean, I feel like Red Bull is definitely dominating, but the Drivers' Championship, it looks like it's be a very tight race going further into the season.
And well, I believe and Lando Norris just staying quite close to Lewis Hamilton as well.
Yeah. Here we have Red Bull still in the lead. All top 3 teams scoring 11 points. So the differences really haven't changed, but Red Bull still far ahead. This has been the sprint race Imola. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.